To Bleacher Report's credit, I did say before, if they give me a logical trade, I will make a video about them. And they gave us a logical trade. So, therefore, a video and hence is being made. Yeah, let's talk about it. So, starting off right away, Bleacher Report believes that we will trade for the Commanders' defensive tackle, Jonathan Allen. As it says right here, trading for Commanders' defensive tackle, Jonathan Allen, would give the Bengals one of the league's best interior defenders, which acquiring the two-time Pro Bowler would be costly. Probably a high day 2 draft pick at least. He would instantly boost Cincinnati's run defense and interior pass rushing. The Bengals have a $61.4 million cap space, blah, 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 blah. So, he's not wrong. Right, if we did go ahead and get Jonathan Allen, it would cost us probably a second or a third round pick. Which, to be honest, I wouldn't give up a first. I don't think the Bengals would give up a second, but they would probably give up a third or maybe less than that, to get Jonathan Allen. I don't think it would be a bad idea to go out there and get someone like Jonathan Allen. Now, he is coming off of not the greatest season of all time. He had a 77.6 pass rushing grade and a 37.9 run stuffing grade, and then he had a 59.7 overall grade. Now, obviously, keep in mind, Pro Football Focus, their grades are not everything. They're not the, you could still have a great season, and Pro Football Focus doesn't think you're the greatest player of all time. But looking at his previous years, he's been pretty dominant. And that's pretty much been his whole thing since the very beginning. He's a very dominant pass-rushing defensive tackle. And he would give us a very good edge on the inside. Also, when it comes to contract-wise, he wouldn't cost us an arm and a leg. That's another thing that, you got to look for when it comes to these trades. Is that $21.4 million, $23 million. It's a lot, but it's not like game-breaking. He's also 29 years old, which, as I say many times, defensive linemen and offensive linemen age like fine wine. The older they get, the better they get. And that kind of spells true for him as well. He's only going to get better as he gets older. And that's just simply how it works. So, really what this comes down to, and Bleacher Report usually doesn't give me a trade I can sit here and logically say, yeah, I would be okay with this. It would be a match made in heaven to a certain degree. If we do lose DJ Reader, again, keep in mind, all this will go off the fact of if we lose DJ Reader or not. Because if we don't lose DJ Reader, none of this will happen. That's just a fact of the matter is. There's no reason to go out there and get another defensive tackle if DJ Reader comes back on a contract. Because then you got DJ Reader, you got BJ Hill, and if that's the case, you're going to use the funds or the money elsewhere. Right? You still got to get Chase contract, etc. So if DJ Reader, if you're going to move on from DJ Reader, this is the only way you're going to make this trade happen. And if that's the case, then I'm not against the idea. I'd rather bring back DJ Reader. I feel like it would be cheaper. Especially for the long run, it would be a lot cheaper. But if you're like, hey, listen, DJ Reader is coming off injury. He's also 30 years old. We're just going to kind of move on and go toward a new direction. I don't think it's the worst idea possible. Now, again, like I said, it all comes down to how much capital you're giving up for him. I still believe that if you're going to trade for Jonathan Allen, I think the Commanders, here's the thing, right? The Commanders are in a weird spot. They have new ownership. Everything on their team right now is new. They understand, I think, for the most part, the ownership, that they're in a little bit of a rebuild. So they're not going to be like one of those teams where they think that, oh, we're going to go win the Super Bowl tomorrow or the next day, right? They understand that it's going to take them some time to get this team going. So they might be a little bit more lenient on the idea of, hey, listen, we'll give up a 30-year-old defensive tackle like they just gave up Chase Young and Montez Sweat and say we're giving him up for less than we should because we're just trying to stack, draft picks to rebuild this squad and get the squad to be younger. So this might be a good chance for us to kind of, figure something out, kind of like the Billy Price for BJ Hill trade way back in the day. So this might give us a chance to kind of swoop in and say, okay, well, you know what? You want to get younger and below, we'll go ahead and help you out, and we'll help ourselves out as well. I don't see this trade happening unless it's for a third or less than that. I don't see it happening anything for more than that. There's no way I think we give up a first or a second for this guy. Now, again, like I said, that's going to come down to what the Commanders feel is correct price tag for him. Because at his the third round pick, do I believe that a team will offer more or could get more for Jonathan Allen? Absolutely. I think there will be a team out there who offers a second round pick or maybe offers a couple different exchange picks outside of that equals the same value. But I don't expect us to do that. I really don't. I think that what we would do is we would give them a value proposition of what we value him at, and that would be that. But again, like I said, I'm not against the idea of going with him. He would be a great addition to the squad, but then it would also be that we're moving on from DJ Reader. Could we keep both? Probably not. You're locking up way too much money there in the defensive tackle position, especially with the rest of the positions we have to pay, right? So at some point you're like, okay, I would love to have a dominant pass rush, but when you lock up that much money, any setbacks or problems are going to hinder your whole entire team. So even the littlest setbacks when you lock up a lot of money in one position is going to be a problem. So overall wise, like I said before, listen, I've said it many times, if Bleacher Report gives me a logical, sound trade that I can actually look at and say, okay, that makes somewhat of sense. I will cover them in the video. I will. Logical and sound trade right here, and I give them props to that because that is, in my opinion, a very true statement. Also, a little side note here, I do want to put this at the end of the video here. Somebody comment down below, I forget who it was. Someone asked me if Brock Bowers was too small to play tight end or something. And I just want to go ahead and cover this real fast. I know most people didn't think this, but somebody did say this, and I do want to cover this real fast. Brock Bowers is not too small to play tight end. He's 6'4", plenty size-wise, obviously. 230 pounds. He's not the biggest body tight end out there, but that's because he's more of a vertical threat tight end. He's not a run-blocking tight end. He's more of a glorified wide receiver playing tight end. Think of Travis Kelce, for example. But 230 is fine. He's not going to be the greatest run blocker of all time, and that's going to be an issue for us to a certain degree. And what I mean by that is like Irv Smith, and I'm not going to connect those two in any way, but Irv Smith also doesn't have the size to him, like weight-wise, so when he's on the end, he's not able to get really good blocks versus top-end pass rushers. Most tight ends cannot. But my point is, he's going to do a worse job at stopping a top-end pass rusher than a more bigger body tight end, right? But no, Brock Bowers is perfect, height-wise, size-wise. He's just a really good vertical threat tight end. I do want to put this in here because somebody asked. No, he's perfect. He is the generational talent at tight end. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.